And they are some of the great names of television in the past years. And I number among them Joy Fountain, who's our special guest now.
Oh, you'd have to include Joy. Hello, Joy Bell.
Hello, sweetheart. How are you?
Good, thanks.
It's lovely to have you with us, Joy, to share a few memories of your early days.
Thank you very much.
Tell us.
Lovely to be here, and thank you very much for the introduction. I don't particularly regard myself as a great name.
Oh, well, you certainly are in a lot of people's memory of television. They must have been fun days to be part of the pioneering days of television.
They were wonderful. We were all, from the very beginning of television, we were all a family. We all worked together. There was no jealousy. There was no stabbing in the back. It was just a family.
Did you win a Beach Girl quest before you went on to television, Joy?
Yes, I did. I didn't even know I was entered for it, actually.
Was this the start for you, Joy?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Who entered you in the contest?
My brother and a group of his friends from Lawn Surf Club.
Yes.
Me and the Miss Torquay quest, and I had no idea I was in it, and it was even a bigger surprise for my father.
And you won it, did you?
Next day, and discovered me in the middle pages. He couldn't believe it.
Wow.
I don't think I was very popular.
What, was he pretty strict in that area?
Yes.
And Joy, had you just left school at the time?
It hadn't been very long, no.
So when television hit, you were asked to appear, or you did a film or a screen test?
I was modelling. That Beach Quest led to modelling jobs, and I was fortunate enough to be very busy in the teenage and sportswear end of modelling. And my name came up when Crawfords were doing auditions for Raising a Husband.
That was the television version of the Alwyn Kurtz radio show.
Yes, and Alwyn was the host, a compere of the television show also.
And about the same time, I was your booth announcer on a show that Jeff Mannion compared called Price is Right for Payne's Bon Marché on a Sunday afternoon at 5:30.
At 5:30, and we had to rehearse all day.
I know we did.
Was that Price is Right much the same as the later Gary Meadows and...
Very similar. Very similar.
So when did Norm Spencer take a shine to you and start including you on In Melbourne Tonight, Joy?
Well, at the time of Raising a Husband, IMT hadn't even started. In fact, that Easter, Raising a Husband started, I think, in the January or February 57. And that Easter, that there was a big, I think at that particular year, it might have been the Red Cross appeal on television. And Graham was one of the announcers who had been invited to attend. So in other words, they were auditioning for the compere of IMT at that time.
So you were in it really from the very beginning, Joy?
Yes.
You were involved in sketches and comedy and songs, that type of thing?
Well, for the first few months or so of IMT, I didn't say anything or do anything. I mean, I modelled and I presented people and things like that, but I never said anything. And then I was also doing a Thursday afternoon show called the Thursday Matinee with Jeff Cork. And we had a director there called Peter Hansen, and he decided that I should talk on television. So he presented me with a 60-second commercial and said, do it. So I went home and I learned it, and I did it. And he brought Norm Spencer down to the control booth to watch the commercial, and Norm suddenly decided that I could talk.
Our special guest this hour on Remember When, Joy Fountain.
And yet, although you were one of Melbourne's best-known models, you were never one of the Darrods girls, were you, Joy?
No, I filled in for Panda for about 6 weeks. And I even only did 4 of those because I collapsed and I discovered that I had double pneumonia and pleurisy and whatever. So the last 2 weeks I couldn't fulfil anyway.
And of course, it wasn't soon after, or it was soon after, that you teamed up on radio for the first time with Bert Newton on 3AK for House Party. I think the year might have been about 1963.
Yes, that was fun.
So, from your modelling and the commercials, etc., where did that lead to in television? Did you go into any drama or that type of thing?
To be perfectly honest, I would have loved to, and I did have a lot of offers, but unfortunately they were not from within Nine Network shows, and at that time the studios were very jealous of their own personalities, and you really weren't allowed to. I was regarded as Channel 9, and that was it.
Yes, yeah.
When did your television career come to an end, Joy, and was it abrupt?
I decided that the atmosphere changed a bit at Channel 9. And it just changed from the happy family it had been. And everyone was feeling a little insecure. And I thought, well, I really don't want to feel like this for the rest of my life. And at that stage, I had already met my ex-husband. And I decided not to stay, and that was either making a choice of a normal life or a show business life.
How did you get on with all the other models at Channel 9, like Honey Vanden Bosch and Panda and Jenny Ham? Was there any sort of any cattiness between you all?
Jenny's the godmother of my eldest daughter. I was a friend of hers long before television.
Right. So, I mean, how did you all get along? Was there a friendly rivalry between all the girls?
Not really, because I was never... You're talking about Darra's girls, and I was never a Darra's girl apart from that time that I did fill in.
Yes, but you were doing commercials on Channel 9, appearing in sketches and modelling.
Yes, but I wasn't rivals with them because you're talking about people who were strictly Darra's girls, Darryl's girls.
Have you kept in touch with any of the names that you worked with, Joy?
Yes, a lot of them. Through
who have you seen lately?
Dorothy Baker, Margaret Becker. Oh, well, I've seen just about everyone. Mary Ferguson arranges the Channel 9ers once a year. And then we also have a club called the Limelighters. And I see a lot of girls then.
You know, you said that there was a very warm, friendly family atmosphere at the channel. That did come across in those days, and I believe still that glory of those days pervades the Nine Network, particularly Melbourne. And, you know, there are just those wonderful memories still coming out of the tube somehow.
It was a warm feeling, and I don't know whether that can be replaced. Not while there's all this bitter rivalry, and unless the rivalry sort of stops. I can't see how that warmth, because we were all very secure then, because we were all, even the producers and directors, we were all striving for something that we were... I think I saw in the paper the other day, flying by the seat of our pants. We were. I mean, it was nothing for sets to fall down. I had one fall down on my head one day. That was nothing. It was just funny. The whole lot was funny. And nobody blamed anyone for anything, because there just wasn't enough time to do things. And we were all just making do with what we had.
I suppose today television programs have to equal ratings, and that equals revenue. It may have been different in those early days.
Well, revenue was always the mainstay. But we didn't have much apart from IMT, and IMT was such a powerful machine. We had a wonderful band. We had wonderful people on the show.
Joy, we're talking about the good old days at Channel 9, and no doubt you would have been very saddened by the passing this past week of your dear friend Elaine McKenna.
It came as a dreadful shock. We all knew that she hadn't been well for some time. I was told on Sunday that she had lapsed into a coma on the Friday. I couldn't quite believe it. But I knew that I'd been told that she had, so I knew I had to believe it. Then on the Monday happened to be our one monthly Limelighters meeting, and it was announced that she had less than 24 hours. And Dorothy Baker and I went out to try and see her on the Monday afternoon. And we did see her at 5 o'clock. We held her hand and tried to talk to her. I don't know whether she knew we were there or not. And then I got the news at 7:15 that she died at 7.
What will you remember Elaine for, Joy Fountain?
I can remember her coming to me in, it must have been 1958, and I was part of the people who ran the Bombora at 431 St Kilda Road when it first started, because that was started from the Lawn Surf Club, of which my brother was vice captain and my ex-fiance was a member, and so therefore I sort of helped run it. And I can remember this beautiful little fresh-faced girl coming up to me, and she had her hair drawn back in a ponytail, and I think she had a fringe, and she said to me, "You're Joy Fountain, aren't you?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "How do you get onto television?" And I looked at her because, quite frankly, I didn't know myself. And I said, well, what do you do? And she said, "I sing." So we always had trad jazz playing there. And I can't remember whether it was Frank Johnson or somebody else. But whoever it was, I went up and I said, "Girl, seems to me that she's a pretty good singer. Can she sing a number?" So she may have sung Bill Bailey, because that's one of my favourite numbers that she sung on record. And anyway, she sang, and I thought, not that I am any great judge, but I thought, I think she's fantastic. And she comes across so well. So I immediately gave her Tom Miller's phone number, and I rang Tom, and I told him the next day to expect a phone call from her, and she took her own career off from there, because of course she was good.
So you virtually launched the television career of Elaine McKenna.
Introduction to Tom Miller. I didn't launch her. She would have got there any other way anyway. I mean, she would have got there some other way. But, yes, she asked me how to get on, and I heard her sing, and I thought, isn't she great?
Joy Fountain, thank you for being with us. Memories of IMT, of early days at Channel 9, and your reflections and tribute to Elaine McKenna.
You're walking along the street, or you're at a party, or else you're alone, and then you suddenly dig. You're looking in someone's eyes, you suddenly realize that this could be the start of something big. You're lunching at 21 and watching your diet, declining a Charlotte Russe, accepting a fig. When out of a clear blue sky, it's suddenly gal and guy, and this could be the start of something big. There's no controlling the unrolling of your fate, my friend. Who knows what's written in the magic book? But when a lover you discover at your gate, my friend, invite him in without a second look. You're up in an aeroplane, or dining at Sardi's, or lying at Malibu alone on the sand. You suddenly hear a bell, and right away you can tell that this could be the start of something grand. This could be the start of something very big. Why don't you play a part? Please give your heart to me and see. This could be the start of something wonderful. Why don't you take a chance and try romance with me and see? You're watching the sun come up and counting your money, or else in a dim cafe you're ordering wine, and suddenly there he is, and you want to be where he is, and this must be the start of something. This could be the heart of something. This could be the start of something big.
Our sincere thanks to Joy Fountain for a lovely interview about lovely times.